ولو معلب.
Thank you very much. Our next respected speaker has come all the way from Croatia. Mr. Pandek Draženko is a member of the Croatian Parliament. Mr. Pandek sits on the Judiciary and Legislative Committee and the Regional Development and European Funding Committee. He is a very good friend of the Jamaat, and it gives me great pleasure to invite him and ask him to say a few words.
Assalamu alaikum. His Holiness Mirza Masroor Ahmad and respected participants. My name is Draženko Pandek, and being a member of a Croatian National Parliament. I bring good wishes to all of you from Croatia. Along with me, there are also 25 Croatians who are participating in this event. Participation of such a large group itself speaks how open-minded Croatians are. Thank you very much for your great hospitality. We feel really privileged to be here. We are treated with great kindness and feel very welcome. Thank you from all my heart. We will remember this event with joy. I was myself introduced to Ahmadi Muslim community this year at an event which was organized at Zagreb Cultural Center. Later, I also participated in a humanitarian program in which eyeglasses were donated, distributed among children of Down syndrome. The slogan of Ahmadiyya, love for all and hatred for none, is a unique slogan which can be followed really by all. The efforts done by the Supreme Head of the community to achieve global peace are really praiseworthy. Therefore, today I endorsed International Human Rights Committee report on discrimination of the Ahmadi community. Serving the humanity without discrimination on the basis of religion, race, color, or ethnicity, in fact, opened the ways for better introduction of different movements. So, my humble suggestion will be that along with religious activities, it will be extremely fruitful if Ahmadiyya, through Humanity First, can pay more attention on various welfare projects in Croatia and for Croatian people also. Myself and my party, which is currently running the government, can extend all possible assistance in this regard. Again, thank you very much for everything.
Thank you very much. Our next respected speaker is Honorable Patrick Jason, who is the Minister of Education and Youth and Sports in Belize. He's also the regional leader within the United Democratic Party. He's an academic by profession and has served as teacher and vice principal at the Anglican Cathedral College in Belize. Honorable Patrick Jason is a very good friend of the Jamaat. I welcome him to our Jalsa Salana and invite him to come and say a few words.
Peace of Almighty God be with you all. I bring you greetings from across the Atlantic, from the tiny nation state of beautiful Belize, the Caribbean jewel in the heart of Central America. I present salutations on behalf of our Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Dean Oliver Barrow and his cabinet, of which I am pleased to serve as his Minister of Education, Youth and Sports. After learning of the ideals of the Ahmadiyya Muslim and of the ideals of His Holiness the Promised Messiah, I was pleased to accept this invitation to Jalsa Salana 2015. I wish that the message be conveyed to His Holiness, that we take the opportunity to thank him on behalf of the government and people of Belize for his and the Ahmadiyya Muslim movement's contributions to world peace. We place on record our admiration for his work and your work on tolerance, peace, and justice. For Belize, you are a particular inspiration since your model of seeking peaceful solutions to disputes instead of war and terrorism and vengeance resounds loudly with all the Belizean people. For many years, Belize has been engaged in a territorial dispute with our neighbor, Guatemala. And for the last 10 years, Belize and Guatemala has been engaged in trying to find a peaceful solution to this dispute. And while this attempt, and the most recent of attempts, has not been without incidents, it has been relatively peaceful. And so we thank the Ahmadiyya Muslim community for its leadership in peaceful resolutions, and we applaud your efforts and we salute you on this convention. On a final note, Mr. Chairman, more so out of an abundance of Belize's intention to associate ourselves with your principles of peace and tolerance, may I make a complaint that the Belizean national flag, I notice, is not flying outside. And it may well be because the Jamaat in Belize is relatively new, 2 years. But we do wish for that flag to be flown, and flown proudly in association with the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, because your principles are so very much in line with what it is we aspire towards in Belize. We congratulate you on this Jalsa Salana 2015, and we give you our deepest and best wishes on behalf of the government and people of Belize. Thank you.
I apologize that the flag of Belize is not outside. I promise to our honorable friend that we will either try and have it up before the end of this Jalsa, but certainly before the next Jalsa Salana, we will ensure that the flag of Belize is flying out with the rest of the flags there, inshallah. Our next speaker has come all the way from Canada, Mr. Jerry Savanos from Quebec. Is a member of the National Assembly and also the Deputy Government House Leader. Jerry is a seasoned politician and is currently serving his 4th term in the National Assembly. He's an old friend of the Jamaat and a regular attendee of our community events. I welcome him to our Jalsa Salana and request him to come and say a few words.
Merci, Monsieur le Président. Il me fait grand honneur d'être avec vous pour vous prononcer quelques paroles. Don't reach for your earpieces. I'm going to do the rest in English. But as a member of the government of Quebec, which has as its provincial official language the French language, it's my pride to be able to say some words to you in French before beginning my address. Dear friends, as the President and Chair mentioned, I am the Member of Parliament for Laurier-Dorion in Quebec and the Deputy Government House Leader. But I think it's important to mention that I'm here at the Jalsa Salana not as a Member of Parliament, but as a friend and as a brother. Assalamu alaikum to you all. I began my relationship with the Ahmadiyya community in my local district in 2007. What I began to learn slowly and surely about your community are the exemplary values of peace, compassion, and solidarity, which are evident in all the actions of the local community and of the Jamaat around the world. I had the honor of participating at conventions in Canada. I had the honor of staying the entire 3 days because I felt it was important not only to address some words to you, but to sit down, exchange, and participate as much as possible in the conversations that strengthen interfaith understanding, cooperation, and solidarity. I had the honor of meeting His Holiness Mirza Masroor Ahmad in Toronto. And I must say that all these values are exemplified in a magnificent fashion by this great man who leads the community and who transfers and transmits this message around the world on your behalf. These values, of course, are evident in the work done by Humanity First everywhere around the world. And I remember the very first thing that struck me when I spoke to members of the Jamaat about Humanity First was that I was told, and it is clear, that compassionate help in times of disaster does not go only to those who share the faith, who share a certain nationality, who share certain views. But as its name attests, Humanity First, it is a gesture of compassion and humanity to those in need wherever disaster may occur, regardless of faith, regardless of opinions. And I think this is the clearest example, the clearest calling card of the community around the world, and I commend you for that work. I'd like to announce to you simply that I will have the honor today of presenting His Holiness with the Medal of the National Assembly of Quebec for his exemplary work around the world for the community, the Jamaat, and for the solidarity that he's exemplified in all his actions. Today, dear friends, we are going through difficult times, as some other speakers have alluded to. If ever we needed a strong Ahmadiyya community, a strong Ahmadiyya presence, a strong presence of Humanity First, it is today. So I thank you all for your participation. I commend the organizing committee, the volunteers, and all of you, and all the colleagues who've come from around the world to participate. May God bless you all. Allah Hafiz.
Thank you very much, Jerry. Our next respected speaker is a very good friend of the Jamaat. Muhammad Askar is member of the Welsh Assembly for South Wales East and is serving as the Shadow Minister for Equalities in Sports. Muhammad has been an Assembly member since 2007. His political interests include economic development and combating social exclusion. He joins us all the way from Wales. Muhammad is a passionate speaker for justice and has spoken at a number of events. It gives me great pleasure to welcome him back to our Jalsa Salana, and I request him to come and say a few words.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, and to all my brother and sister and distinguished guests, Assalamu alaikum. This is actually, I'm going to give very short speech saying few words, but I'm going to steal from Qaid-e-Azam. He said in his 3 golden principles we all know, especially people from Indian continent: unity, faith, and discipline. My word, and by God, you are the one in the world who have actually adopted those 3 principles around the world, and you are the one or actually spreading the real Islam around the world to make sure that Islam is a peaceful religion and peaceful people around the world, to make sure that we are the most sympathetic to humanity and the humanity and kindness to everybody. The love for all, hatred for none is one of the slogans. After always I say, La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah is the biggest slogan you can ever think of. Thank you.
Islam Ahmadiyyat! Islam Ahmadiyyat!
Thank you very much, my friends. Actually, I come from Wales, which is a part of United Kingdom. There are 4 provinces: Northern Ireland, Scotland, Wales, and England. And what Ahmadiyya community is doing to the communities in this part of the world is incredible. We are doing annually thousands of pounds, giving to the needies. Don't think that United Kingdom is the rich and the most powerful country in the world. Yes, it is, but there are still poor people. And Ahmadiyya community, in all under circumstances, are helping everyone, especially in Wales. And I can give you another good news. Very shortly, within a year, I hope, you will have a mosque in Cardiff, and everybody in this congregation is welcome in Wales. And my friends, I only quote one thing to tell the world of Muslim world, actually what they think about Ahmadiyya. It's not my word, it's the word from our God. Look at the Quran Pak. In a Quran Pak, it says, the person who is a tyrant or a zalim or kufr, I mean non-believers, they are the one going to go to the hell. The rest are all who are peaceful, honorable, justice, cooperative and understandable. They will never go for a wrong fate. And I can congratulate you all that you believe in the second bit. You are the best peaceful people in the world. You are the one who are actually spreading the real sense of Islam. In Pakistan, you know what is happening around the world in Islamic community. We are called on a very different label, but not many people know what is the Ahmadiyyas are. Ahmadiyyas are the most peaceful community in Muslim community, within the Muslim community. And you all should be proud of it. And Mr. Chairman, this is something, my hats off to everyone who comes here and actually shows the strength, unity, and the faith, which is Ahmadiyyat, is only 150 or less than 150 years old. But this tree has grown, and I can see the fruit, and I can see the people, I can see the young volunteers, and I can see the old people also. Not only following this, actually practicing Ahmadiyyat and showing the world, non-believers, that what really the Islam is. And I congratulate you all and thank you again for coming to this annual Jalsa, and God bless you all, and God make this community grow every day and every hour, 7 days a week. God bless you all.
Takbir! Ghulam Ahmad ki! Ghulam Ahmad ki!
Is he ready to come to the stage? Before we invite our next respected speaker, we have a number of goodwill messages from various leaders, and I'd request Fareed Ahmed Sahib to read a couple of them.
Assalamu alaikum. We have a few messages of support from members of Parliament in the UK, and I'm honoured to read some of those. The first is from the Prime Minister, David Cameron, who says that he is pleased to send a message on the occasion of the Jalsa Salana, which will bring together the Ahmadiyya Muslim community for an annual gathering. It is heartening to know that the community comes together to promote collective values and becomes closer and stronger each year. This is a great thing to teach forthcoming generations. I do hope this year's convention is a successful one. Please accept my best wishes for the event. The Prime Minister, David Cameron. We also have a message from the Secretary of State for Communities, the Right Honourable Greg Clark, MP. He says, I warmly congratulate the Ahmadiyya Muslim Association on their many charitable works and their clear commitment to interfaith dialogue, tolerance and peace. I welcome your consistent support for British values and for working to maintain our shared British way of life. I am confident that the Ahmadiyya community will continue to make a positive, inspiring and constructive contribution as the government takes steps to strengthen and celebrate our multiracial and multi-faith democracy. We also received a brief message from Cardinal Vincent Nichols, the Archbishop of Westminster of the Catholic Church, and he says, "I would like to say how much we appreciate the work and the friendship of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community in the UK. We wish you every blessing for this event and for your future plans and projects." We also have a message from the Mayor of London, Boris Johnson, who says, "I am delighted to send my best wishes once again to the Ahmadiyya Muslim community's annual convention. This has been an important year for community relations in London, and I know firsthand from my visits to Beth el-Fatouh Mosque in Morden and the great work you are doing for charities and individuals. Thank you for contributing in so many ways to promoting peace and tolerance in London and in bringing people together." Another Secretary of State, the Right Honourable Chris Grayling MP, also sends a message, and he says that, "I know the Jalsa is a key point in the calendar of your community. I did want to express my gratitude to His Holiness for all of the community's work and for the very positive and productive role you play in our national life, and for the very important work that you do to help those in need. I am proud to have many members of the community living in my constituency, and I have seen firsthand the important contribution they make to the work that the Ahmadiyya do in the United Kingdom." That's from the Right Honourable Chris Grayling, who's the Secretary of State for Justice. We have a further message from the Right Honourable Justine Greening MP, the Secretary of State for International Development, and she says, "I have the privilege to have the international headquarters of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community in my constituency. I'd like to pay tribute to the Ahmadiyya community, not just because it plays such an important role in Southfields in my own constituency, including the fantastic fundraising work of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Youth Association, but also because of the work that the community does around the world, not least through Humanity First. In my role as International Development Secretary, I know the challenges that we face to promote peace and stability around the world, and this is such an important event that brings so many people together to promote our common goals and focus on what binds us together. I wish you a very happy and peaceful Jalsa Salana." We also have a message from the former Attorney General in the UK, the Right Honourable Dominic Grieve QC MP, and he says, "I know that Jalsa is always an enjoyable and interesting occasion. It is also a celebration of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community's contribution to our national life in the United Kingdom. Over the years, I have got to know members of the community, and I have never ceased to be impressed by the levels of participation in cooperation with others of all faiths and of none in making our country a better place to live. It is a model of integration from which we can all learn. I very much hope that this year's Jalsa is a great success, and I would like to send all who attend from every part of the world the warmest welcome, and hope that this year's gathering will help contribute to the cause of peace for all." Another message from a Secretary of State for Health, the Right Honourable Jeremy Hunt MP, the MP for Farnham, reads as follows. "Over the many years I have known your community, I have remained deeply impressed by its unity and its genuine desire to do good to the world. Just two examples of this are the wonderful charity walks that you do, that now have raised more than £2 million for British charities, and for the Muslims for Life campaign, encouraging blood donations which save lives. I also want to pay special tribute to your work for human rights and peace. I know your community, under the wise leadership of His Holiness, is well regarded by many colleagues, and I will continue to support you and the good works that you do. Your message of love for all, hatred for none, is one that we should all aspire to." We also have a message from a local Member of Parliament, Zach Goldsmith MP, the Member of Parliament for Richmond, Park and North Kingston, and he writes, To those who know the Ahmadiyya Islam, know it above all as a religion of peace, which has been at the vanguard of efforts to promote tolerance and respect around the world. Your founder and prophet, Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, famously said, "There are only two complete parts of faith. One is to love God, and the other is to love mankind, to such a degree that you consider the suffering and the trials and tribulations of others as your own, and that you pray for them." When we consider the destruction of the Daesh in the Middle East and the menacing rise of religious extremism around the world, his message of not just tolerance but respect and empathy is one that we can all rally behind. 10 years ago, London also suffered considerable loss of life and the destruction at the hands of terrorists, showing that the challenge we face is a truly global one. His Holiness Hazrat Mirza Masroor Ahmad also has worked tirelessly on spreading the message of peace, and I would like to pay tribute to his repeated condemnation of extremism, his advocacy of justice and compassion, and his spiritual leadership. As some of you may know, I am putting myself forward for the position of Mayor of London. London is the greatest city in the world because of its diversity, a home to people from every nation in the world, and because of its freedoms. I am very aware of the close ties between this great city and the Ahmadiyya faith. Not only were you among the first Muslims to arrive in the UK, your headquarters at the Fazl Mosque is the first purpose-built mosque in London, dating all the way back to 1926. What's more, being situated south of the river in SW18, it is close to my home community. That message is from Zach Goldsmith, MP. We also have a message from the Minister for Health, Jane Ellison, Member of Parliament for Battersea, and she says, "I was delighted to attend the charity walk at the Baitul Futuh Mosque this year, and as Minister for Public Health, I cannot speak highly enough of the value of such events. Not only do they keep you healthy, but they are also an excellent way of raising the profile of the community as well as raising funds for good causes. In this regard, I would like to pay tribute to your community members, young and old, men and women, in how they engage themselves in working for the common good. As a faith community, you exemplify the very best of your faith and also give a practical example of working for peace. Through charity walks and blood drives, the amazing work in bringing light and water and medical services to the developing world, you are saving lives and giving that most cherished gift of hope. I am proud of the work you do, and it is my wish that you continue to blaze a trail under the leadership of His Holiness Hazrat Mirza Masroor Ahmad." We also have a message from the chair of the Ahmadiyya Muslim All-Party Parliamentary Group, the Honourable Siobhan McDonough MP, who's the Member of Parliament for Morden. She writes, "As chair of the parliamentary group for the Ahmadiyya Muslim community and as the Member of Parliament for Mitcham and Morden, where you have your stunning Baitul Futuh Mosque, I wholeheartedly applaud your community's contribution in every sphere of life. Over the past few years, we have witnessed the terrible atrocities committed by the likes of ISIS that have shocked us all. I contrast the actions of those extremists to the wonderful work of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, and it is plain to see who stands for the true principles of Islam. Your community works for saving lives, for dialogue, for protecting the environment, for engaging youth in positive action, and for loyalty to your country. Your community is a shining example of what Islam stands for. Under the leadership of your Caliph, His Holiness Hazrat Mirza Masroor Ahmad, you make a distinctive contribution to Britain and the world. His call for greater justice in the world and for greater compassion for all people is both timely and of great import as the world is facing increasing challenges. It is all the more remarkable when one considers that your community faces severe persecution, especially in Pakistan, and that there are many challenges in the world today, and I sincerely hope that your message of love for all, hatred for none, is heard by the world.